Hello, you gorgeous folk. How are you? Today I'm talking about the saviour complex and why it is that we want to blame God for all of the bad stuff that's happening and how that's an error. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So I think I told you recently that I had a conversation with my mother-in-law, and it was like listening to an awakened person, and she certainly wasn't awakened before, and yet she's waking up and she's angry. And we're going to talk about that as well in another video. But as we were chatting, she was talking about all the terrible things, the wars that are happening and all of this, and she said, and I just said to myself, where's God in all of this? If God existed, this wouldn't happen. Why doesn't God do something about it? And this is not the first time that I've heard this question. It's a question that's on a lot of people's lips at the moment. And it has been for a while. But the first thing that came into my mind, I never said it, but the first thing that came into my mind was this. Why is it when something bad happens, you've got to drag God into it? Why are you dragging God into this situation? So let's start off with a premise. God, whatever that means to you, whatever that is, God is a non-participant in what's happening here on the earth. Non-participant. Now that's not true in reality, because God actually controls everything. This is all God's plan. Okay? In essence, it's all his plan. Or her plan, or their plan, doesn't really matter. There's no gender there, is there? But God is running the script. Let's say that. The script has been written by God. So then you might say, well, what on earth is he doing writing these horrible things in? Why is he allowing all of these things to happen? And the truth of the matter is that God isn't allowing these things to happen. The real truth, if we want to get down to the brass tacks, is that we are allowing these things to happen. The purpose of us being here is literally that. The purpose of us being here and going through this great awakening and all of that is for us to realize that we are allowing these things to happen. Now that doesn't mean that it's our fault. This is not about apportioning blame. This is just about understanding who's involved in this game that we're playing. So in essence, the truth of the matter is that bad things happen because we allow them to happen. Let me put this in a bit of perspective. So people are dying in war all the time. Why? Because we permit it. Because we, the people who go to war, are us. The people who kill are us. So how do we stop it though? How do we stop it? Well, the simple answer is we stop it by not doing it. That's it. People are dying of terrible diseases. And yet, all of the ways of preventing that have already been found, invented. They've been around for a long time. And yet, they're not available. The only thing that's available is this fake medicine. People are starving. People are starving in part of the world, and in other parts of the world, governments are stopping farmers from producing food. They put limits on them. Why? Because we allow it. So everything that happens on this earth is because we are allowing it to happen. Now, again, it's very important. That doesn't mean that we are to blame. Okay? Because the whole idea of us being here, why are we here? The idea of us being here is so that we can get to the point where we find out that everything that is happening that we don't like, we could stop it today. We could stop it now. All that we do is say no. All that we need do is not comply. And it would stop instantly. And so the only reason that it persists is because we allow it to persist. This is what the emissaries were saying to me. The idea, the whole journey of us being here is for us to discover our own power, to discover the power of humankind. But what's the answer? It's been going on for a long time. How is it that we allow these things to happen? Well, what's happened is we have been instilled with what is called the SAVIOUR complex, which is when something bad happens, we expect somebody to come and save us. Now, we've had this inculcated in us ever since we've been small. Somebody needs to do something about this. Somebody. We are not involved in that somebody. I need to do something about it isn't what we say. Somebody ought to do something about it. So we've got the saviour complex, which has been sold to us through religion. Hence the fact that we blame God. We blame God. Yeah? He should do something about it. If not God, well, the government should do something about it. If not the governments, the white hats should do something about it. If not the white hats, well, Trump should do something about it. Don't worry. When he gets in, everything's going to be resolved. Now, the issue that we've got with the saviour complex is this. The emissary said this. Imagine that the white hats, whoever they are, whatever they are, they suddenly take it all away. Imagine that God just goes, okay, I'll take all that away. What they said is, mankind will have learned nothing. Mankind will not have learned the power of their own sovereignty. And what would happen is this, it would be taken away and then it would come back. It would just come back. Why? Because we don't know how to stop it. We haven't learned the lesson yet of how to stop it. And so no matter who comes in, imagine Trump comes in and he sorts the world out. Right? He's 76 now or whatever. So when he dies, what's going to happen? When the next elections come in 4 years, what's going to happen? Well, somebody else will get in and they'll make it all happen again. So it isn't the answer to want somebody to fix it for us. The answer is that we learn how to fix it ourselves. And that's why the emissary said this could be stopped today. Now, that's great, but it's not practical. Why? Because we, as awakened people, we know this. We know we have this power. We are sparks of God. We can stop this now. However, it's frustrating because not everybody knows that. And so many people in the truth movement have still got the saviour complex. They still think that some external force is going to fix this. The time will come when we, as a collective, understand that to stop something, we do it. And that's what this whole process, that's what the Great Awakening is about. It isn't waking up to knowing that Trump is the right answer for the world. It isn't waking up to know that the white hats are what we should support because they're going to put it right. The journey that we're on, the Great Awakening, is to the Great Awakening to our power. To know that we are versions of God here on earth. And therefore, if that's the case, then we have the power of creation and destruction. Destruction by means of withdrawing consent. And it isn't a destruction, it's a falling apart. Everything will fall apart when we get to the place where we just say, no, this is what we want. No. Okay? We're getting there. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this anger that's going on at the moment. It's a great step. It's a step of action. Anger is action. But I think what we need to keep in mind is that, and you hear this, I remember hearing this being said a while ago, and I just saw it the other day. Laura Arboli or something, she posts a lot of stuff, and she put, I just want to make this clear. Nobody is coming to save us. Now, when we hear that, and I know the first time I heard it, I was quite down. I was thinking, oh shit, nobody's coming to save us. But that's the best news ever, because whoever comes to save us will inevitably fall away and be replaced by somebody who doesn't want to save us. The great news is that when we learn that our Saviour is within, you know, have we heard that? Our Saviour is within. It's us. It's us. We are the world, right? In the words of Michael Jackson, we are the world. We don't need anybody else to come and do this for us. We can do it. We're more than capable. All we need is unity, sovereignty, and an understanding. And that's on its way. And so our message, the words that we share with other people, is very much that. That's why so many people are talking about sovereignty. Right? Don't dismiss that as, oh, they're, you know, the sovereign people. That's what it's all about. Our sovereignty. Sovereign is king, is ruler. We are the rulers of this world. And as soon as we find out as a collective that that's the case, everything stops and everything begins that we want. It's as simple as that. So keep wishing for that. Keep thinking about that. Manifest that in your life and start with you. The power of the word no. Knowing your choices, knowing what you support, knowing I'm sorry, but that is not something that I'm able now to participate in. I'm off to do my thing. And that's it. We need to set the lead. We know we have a big responsibility on our shoulders because we know. And so it's our job to show that, to let people see the way. Very important. So everything can be stopped. Don't blame God. Don't blame anybody. And don't blame yourself. Because there's no point. The blame game, well, what do they say? When you point the finger at one person, you've got three fingers pointing back at yourself. Okay? Blame's not. It's worthless. No, what we have to do is focus on what we want. Focus on what we want and learn to use the power of no. But remember, it isn't no push. It's no turn. It's no turn away. Not that, no thanks. Not for me. I'm off to do my thing. Okay? And that thing will develop into a community of billions of people saying, no thanks. We're going to do our thing now. We're going to do what's good for mankind. And that's going to be very beautiful to watch. And we're in it now. We're in that process. We're just at the front end, that's all. We're at the front end, and so it looks like we're few, but we're not. We're many. And as soon as people realise that, goodness, we're going to be an unstoppable force. Something to look forward to, is it not? And I love you all, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.